Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to the next episode review of My Home Hero, episode 10. I didn't think of how Kyoshi was going to get out of this. After all the blame was put on him, being framed for Noburu's murder, and after when Totsu planted all the evidence against him, the bag of bones, the tablet with his emails, the fake video, right? The thing is, he's going to die right there, so how he's going to get out of this, though, because Totsu walks away, right? A free man, and so continue on. We see, because we saw last time, we saw his wife was on the roof doing some stretching, right? Playing how he's gonna show. It was gonna show how he was gonna break in. She was gonna break into his place and plant the evidence there, right? So we see that she gets this portable escape ladder, right? Goes through this hatchway, climbs to like 2 floors down to get to his place. There's how there's a bit when you have apartments, right? There's like a wall between them, right, to separate from their balconies, right? So she uses like that portable ladder to go over, right? Slowly go through that little gap there, and then we saw another flashback where Totsu while Kyoshi was making that omelet that he was cooking for him, Totsu scooted over just a little bit and unlocked the sliding door. So that's how she got in easily. And so she goes and it just shows how very well once again how carefully planned that Totsu did with him and his wife, how they carefully planned this whole thing out, right? Like, he tells her about the safe, right? And using that black light that Kyoshi, the one he got before Totsu switched it out, right? From the envelope thief from earlier. And so she uses that and uses like a special paper to see the fingerprints on his safe, right? So the code only shows only the numbers of 0683, so there's like all different like 24 different types of combinations. So she's pressing 3, they don't work, and the safe has to be locked out for 10 minutes before he can start doing it again. So she was like quickly praying, Kaisen was quickly praying, saying to get the right one, right? And she does, and that's how she gets that's how she got the safe open. That's how she planted the bag of evidence, the bones and the tablet in that safe. And then she had to quietly, carefully leave the same way she came in before anyone noticed. So, with Kyoshi, since Totsu is now able to go, since seems like nothing is pitted against him, right? So he goes back to his daughter's apartment, and just due to exhaustion, which I wouldn't blame him, he just goes and rests on her bed because after a whole an exhausting week, I think it's been a whole week, it just completely wore him out. I'm like, yeah, you need to freaking rest. Although I know it's still because it's his injury though, but I just wish he could just take off that clear bandage off his head though. I mean, it was starting to annoy me a bit, and like I think with that time it stopped bleeding, so I think it's safe to take that clear bandage off though. But I know, but it's kind of annoying me a little bit still seeing that on him though. But yeah, so he starts resting up. He rests up, and then with Kyoshi, like how he was going to get out of this, right? So what does he do? While he's on the floor face plant, right? He takes his leg and does like a very high. He takes his leg and just goes like, reaches far the way up and cucks the guy in the back of the head, and he slips away, and he goes off. He slips away, and he uses a fire extinguisher as a diversion and goes up the stairs up to the roof. But his injuries is kind of slowing him down because he's starting to bleed out again. The door is locked, but he goes through that window where Kaisen went through, and he's looking for a way to escape. So he goes down the hatchway where Kaisen went through, climbs on the balcony, and he notices where the wall between the outside balconies that separates the apartments from he sees some scratches marks on top of there, and he's slowly putting some things together because he's suspecting Totsu because, but he's thinking, wait a minute, how could he's been with me the whole time? You know, how could he have done all this stuff, right? And I know he was always suspecting Totsu, but he couldn't put any. He couldn't have pitted against it because he's been with him the whole time, and all the evidence points to him, right? So but he sees those scratches on top of that where Kaysen put that portable fire escape ladder on there. So he gets back in there into his place, right? And since the game, they took all the money that was in his safe though, but he had a secret stash of a couple of wads in like a container underneath his kitchen sink. So as a distraction, because we kind of felt bad because there was all that money that he was saving to buy up that diner that his family owned, that the mob took away from him, right? I'm like, all the money that he saved up though, now it's all gone. And the last thing he does use it, he uses it as a diversion. He tosses it all out the window as a distraction. So all the people are grabbing all the money, right? And in the crowd, right? He tells those two guys, they tried to kill me. They tried to kill me. Help me, right? And they see the guy is bleeding. So the two guys are after him. They fall back because the guy created a scene, so they had to fall back. But Totsu, I thought even though his injury was starting to slow him down, though, you think he was going to get caught though, but he persevered on more, and he gets a new outfit to disguise himself to get rid of his old outfit. So he puts a new outfit on, but the guy is still bleeding out though from his injury though. And then back with Rika, their daughter, Kaysen Totsu's daughter, right? That she was getting very suspicious, and like she was saying about that guy, about Kiyoshi, right? How I was like, you know, I was supposed to meet with this guy. He's a womanizer, right? And you're telling me to stay away from him. And then he called, and when he called her to meet with him, it's like, oh, I know what it is. He's a stalker. That's why, right? And then her phone rings, and but I guess her phone is connected. Because she said, "Oh, hey, Kana," which I thought it was a friend of hers, right? We see Kiyoshi talking to the head mobster guy, the father, I would assume, the father of Nobuto, and the other gray-haired guy that was with the second-hand guy. What was that guy's name? I forget again. But he was a smoker. He was a smoker, and he had like the gray hair. That was the second hand of Nobuto's father, right? I think their phone is all connected somehow. But Kiyoshi is telling that to the boss, that saying, I did not do any of this, and he's goes and says that the one who killed Nobuto is Totsu, and he's saying that I'll explain all of his schemes to you. And his last shot of him shows him just resting at his daughter's place on her bed. So, but yeah, another really great episode. I mean, my home hero has been hitting it home every single time, right? I mean, it showed that big relief that Totsu has now, because like I said, all this has been took an emotional toll, and physically, mentally, all that big strain on him. It's just, he was about to collapse in the street, you know, so he decided to go back to his daughter's place and just take a rest, you know. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't blame him, because all that carefully laid out plan that him and his wife did, for the most part, for pretty much while his daughter knowing, he's just been just a total badass in and out of himself, without a guy who has no combat skills. Like I said before, he's not a John Wick guy. He's not like an ex-special forces guy, no military background or anything. He's just a regular, ordinary guy, a sales guy, just who like reading mystery novels and stuff like that, right? Using his skills and what he's learned, him and his wife together, made all this carefully laid out plan, you know, to avoid being, you know, as the guy who killed a son of Yakuza. So, and doing all this just to protect his daughter because of what he did to her, right? as any parent would protect their child, right? So yeah, all that was just well, I haven't seen for an anime series in quite some time a scene where a carefully laid out plan, ordinary guy, just so precisely trying to cautiously just carefully plan each and every detail out, like all the stuff like with the getting rid of the body, and then with the switch of the black light, then buy a new one and stapling up to reseal it, right? Or switching the envelopes, and having his wife, help break into Kyoshi's place and planting the evidence in the safe, and which at least I kind of feel bad for Kyoshi. I mean, like, he didn't know do anything to betray the organization, except for when he said that the armored car stuff that he did was kind of true, though. But all that money that he saved up to help his mom, they just took all that away, and the last bit that he was saving, he had another place, he had to throw it all away as a distraction. Poor guy, all that stuff he built, all the hard work money he made was now all for nothing now. And the thing is that Kaisen was originally going to plant that bag of bones at his mother's place, and she would get the blame for it. But she didn't do it out of guilt, though, so decided to put into his, even Totsu said, Totsu was saying that, Kyoshi was basically a good guy, he never betrayed the organization, all that stuff, though, but, basically, he had to do what he had to do, to avoid getting killed and, just return back to his normal life, right? So, because he never wanted to get involved in that fight, so he just wanted to help his daughter out, so. But yeah, My Home Hero episode 10, it was absolutely great. This one, you'd think that Kyoshi was going to die, but he got himself out of it, though. But now he's calling up the boss, the head boss, saying that it is Totsu, he's the one who killed him. But since he has no evidence, he tries to explain all the schemes that he's been doing, though. Yeah, but episode 10, just bravo once again. Another 10 out of 10 episode. This film, why I keep on saying that, though? This the series has been really hitting at home every single time. I think this has been a really great. As for a series, it's been a great series I've seen in a while. Of just carefully planning everything out, being one step ahead of the Yakuza. Trying not to get caught, and sometimes he was thinking on his feet. And getting his wife involved, who was okay on helping him out. Trying to help their daughter. So. Great husband and wife teamwork. Yeah. But that's episode 10. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more coming for Anime Month, and we'll see you next time. Later.